Most people believe success arrives with noise. They imagine dramatic breakthroughs, big announcements, sudden victories, a moment that changes everything overnight. But that belief creates one of the most dangerous illusions you can carry. Because when you expect progress to be loud, you often miss the kind of progress that actually matters. The progress that changes lives is usually quiet. It happens when nobody is watching. It happens when there is no applause. It happens when there is no evidence that your effort is paying off. And that is exactly why so many people quit too early. They mistake silence for failure. They mistake slow movement for no movement. They mistake invisible growth for wasted effort. Ask yourself a simple question. How many times have you abandoned something because results did not appear quickly enough? How many times have you doubted your path because the rewards were delayed? How many times have you looked at someone else's success and assumed they moved faster than you? The truth is often very different. Most meaningful achievements are not built through explosive action. They are built through quiet progress that accumulates day after day until momentum becomes impossible to stop.
The principle of quiet progress is simple. Small actions, repeated consistently, create outcomes that appear sudden to outsiders. But those outcomes were never sudden. They were simply unseen. The world notices the harvest. It rarely notices the planting. And if you want to create something significant in your life, you must learn to respect the planting season. You must learn to value what cannot yet be measured by applause. You must become comfortable building without immediate validation. Because the greatest transformations often begin in complete silence. Imagine a massive stone bridge stretching across a wide river. People admire the finished structure. They photograph it. They praise its strength. They talk about its beauty. But long before the bridge existed, workers spent countless hours laying foundations beneath the surface. Most of that work was invisible. Nobody celebrated it. Nobody drove across it. Nobody admired it. Yet every visible part of the bridge depended on what had been built underneath. Success works the same way. The visible result is supported by invisible preparation. The promotion is supported by years of learning. The business is supported by years of discipline. The strong body is supported by thousands of forgotten workouts. The confident mind is supported by countless moments of self-control. People often focus on outcomes because outcomes are easy to see. But outcomes are only shadows. The real substance exists in the habits that created them. This leads to an important law. Preparation attracts opportunity. Not because opportunity is magical, not because luck chooses favorites, but because preparation changes your ability to recognize and use opportunities when they appear. Many people wait for opportunity before they prepare. That approach creates disappointment. The wiser approach is the opposite. Prepare before opportunity arrives. Develop skills before they are required. Build discipline before challenges appear. Strengthen character before pressure increases. Because opportunity rarely announces itself in advance. It arrives unexpectedly. And when it arrives, it reveals whether preparation has already taken place. Think about how often people call someone lucky. They see a person receive an opportunity and assume fortune created the outcome. What they rarely see are the years that made that opportunity useful. Without preparation, opportunity often passes unnoticed. With preparation, the same opportunity becomes a turning point. This is not coincidence. It is a principle. Preparation multiplies opportunity. The prepared person sees possibilities that others overlook. The prepared person can move while others hesitate. The prepared person is ready when timing matters. And preparation itself is usually quiet. No spotlight, no recognition. Nothing more than hard work slowly building up underneath the surface. But then comes the pressure. Pressure has its own way of showing you the truth. Pressure doesn't make your patterns, it shows them to you. In times of struggle, your real patterns will show themselves. In times of uncertainty, your preparation will be clear. In times of hardship, your system will be put to the test. Take, for example, a student preparing for a very important exam. Over the course of many months, the student works hard at studying, chapter by chapter, practice by practice, review after review. There seems nothing out of the ordinary in those efforts. Progress moves at a slow pace. But the day of the exam eventually comes. Pressure creeps into the room. The questions become tough. Time is running out. The stress begins to build up. That is when all your efforts come to fruition. Not because you became prepared overnight, but because you were always prepared, and pressure made it known. Now think about a totally different scenario. A firefighter facing a crisis situation. Under such circumstances, there is no room left to learn the basics.
There is no time to cultivate discipline. There is no time to gain composure. They must be there beforehand. They come from repetition, from endless hours of practice, from daily preparation. For in times of emergency, it is pre-existing patterns that firefighters rely on. Once more, it is pressure that shows the results of prior preparation. This is true anywhere, in professional lives, in interpersonal relationships, in our physical and mental well-being, in leadership and in personal growth. Under pressure, pre-existing patterns emerge. That is why silent development counts. Each seemingly insignificant action prepares you for a future performance. Each repetitive act builds a pattern you will use in the future. You train every single day for situations that haven't happened yet. So ask yourself one more question. Which patterns do you currently create? How will pressure expose your habits tomorrow? What hidden actions do you take today to help you later? The answers to these questions are crucial, as your future performance depends on how you prepare today. But this leads us to the main problem of our era: distractibility. Like never before, numerous distractions fight for our attention. Daily, we hear countless messages, notifications, people sharing opinions, entertainments, comparisons with others, background noises. The result is obvious. Many people are busy without being productive. They are always moving, yet make little headway. They absorb information, but seldom use it. They begin much, but accomplish little. The difficulty is not effort. The difficulty is direction. Effort is made effective by focus. Without focus, effort dissipates. With focus, effort magnifies. Consider the power of sunlight. When scattered, it gives warmth.
With concentration from a lens, it ignites fire. The same goes for your attention. If spread out, there will be few outcomes. When concentrated, there will be a transformation. That's why you must protect focus like gold. Not because focusing is easy, but because focusing is important. All great achievements involve concentration of attention. All skills need concentration to develop. All meaningful goals need effort to achieve. All distractions will cost you something. Cost not in time, but momentum. Because every time you get distracted, your brain starts from scratch. Every distraction breaks your consistency. Every attention break holds you back. Ask yourself this question: what deserves my attention? What just takes it away? Your answer could very well explain why some of your goals never happen. Real progress needs your undisturbed focus, needs you willing to refuse all forms of unnecessary noise, to refuse comparing yourself to other people, to refuse activities that do nothing more than waste your energy. This is important because what you focus on grows. This is important because whatever you consistently invest into is going to shape your future. Think about how growth happens. Most people want to grow. Most do not realize the process. There is a way growth happens. First, learn. Next, apply.
Follow that up with evaluating. Finally, correct and persist. These steps sound simple enough. They carry incredible power, however. Just learning isn't enough. Learning something and not applying it will change nothing. Sure, you could read 1,000 books. You could watch millions of videos. You could analyze 100 different methods.
However, information will make little difference without the action behind it. That's what application does. It turns concepts into practice. Practicing allows us to get feedback. Feedback creates awareness. That's followed by evaluation. What went right? What went wrong? What got results? What caused problems? We don't repeat our mistakes if we evaluate. We turn our experiences into lessons. The next step is correction, modification, improvement, enhancement. Not perfection, progress. Tiny corrections add up to amazing results. Then comes persistence, probably the most crucial step of all. Because any mistake before persistence can be fixed with stopping. Many people start. Very few people persist. It takes persistence for momentum to develop, because persistence continues the cycle until it works. Learn, apply, evaluate, correct, persist, and do it again. The person who follows these steps will have an edge that multiplies with each passing day. Not because he never makes a mistake, because he learns from mistakes. Not because he executes flawlessly, because he never stops executing. And here's one more life-changing truth. Discipline trumps motivation. Motivation sounds great. It's energizing. It's exciting. It's inspiring. It provides fuel to the fire. But motivation is unreliable. Some days it strikes. Other days it eludes. If you rely solely on motivation for getting things done, you'll find yourself struggling to get results. But discipline doesn't work like that. It doesn't care how you feel. It cares about what needs to get done. Systems work better than emotions. A system takes decision-making off the table. Two people can be considered for this example. One person works only after being inspired. Another works on a regular schedule. Weeks elapse. Months go by. Years go by. Who will gain more achievement? Most probably the person who worked continuously, even without inspiration, as consistency will outperform intensity after prolonged periods of time. So keep going, keep learning, keep applying, keep evaluating, keep correcting, keep persisting. Protect your focus. Respect the season you are in. Trust the value of preparation. Welcome useful feedback. Build strong systems. Allow momentum to grow. And never underestimate the power of quiet progress. Because while the world celebrates dramatic victories, real transformation is often happening in silence. A silent effort, a silent repetition, a silent improvement, day after day, year after year, until the life you once imagined becomes the life you are living. And when that day arrives, it will not feel like magic. It will feel like the natural result of principles faithfully practiced over time. That is the principle of quiet progress. And that principle has the power to build momentum strong enough to carry you farther than you ever believed possible.